Gonna wait for viewers, gonna heat up my coffee, and yeah. I thought that I had this light on before I went upstairs, but I guess I didn't, so put it on now. The water bottle is on the tablet screen and it's keeping it lit. It looks like you're bailing on that. Back a little bit, eh? Yeah. Yeah, I'll put this on for some. Well, I think I'm probably gonna want the full size, the full light. Every now and then this gets bigger, so I might not tonight. I need to keep getting a slow start. Okay. It's kind of in honor of somebody, but also kind of comfy, cozy. How long will we have to? I was just about to say how long. I've just started rolling. I was like, how long will I have to wait for a viewer? And then right, you came in. I feel like that's meant to be, and I welcome you in. Feel free to say if you've ever been to the channel before, how you came across it, where you're watching from, if I don't already know. Megan, you being good? Okie dokie. Oh, looks like I might actually have to make some more coffee because that's empty. And I don't think it's doing. In fact, I need to get it together. So just a moment. Put it on here. I just have to get the cup from the other room. So I have a bit of an interesting topic for this one. As long as there's somebody here listening and hopefully wanting to chat, then I will get started here because I have just started rolling. The topic, or the main topic anyway, that I'd like to focus on is earlier today I was watching something and I heard that somebody had a wish that when they passed away, and actually the loved ones didn't know it for a little while, it sounded like, they wanted their clothes donated to homeless people. And I just want to get some coffee started here, coffee made. And it not only is that something I would like done as well, I also decided to come up with a few more things. I've lately, as the year was starting and just occasionally, but not often in my life, I have had the idea of doing a bucket list. But I never get super far into doing so, and I guess I often feel like, there are things that are far out of reach. Your left, so I'll just get some coffee for a moment here. And that I feel like the things that are, anyway, I already said that, I won't say it again. But when I was writing this other type of list, I feel like it might be stuff that's easier to do. I still think that, when the time comes, and hopefully we're all able to find the joys in life, and none of us are like have any particular plans to, I know sometimes people do, and so, again, my first suggestion would be reach out to other supports you have in your life. I'm saying this at the beginning of the video, so whatever, so it's good. Other supports that you might have in your life, counselors, if not family and friends, and I can understand, how that may be a little bit awkward. It seems like when people go through that, they don't understand how the person couldn't come to them. Um, and sometimes I'm watching stories about this kind of thing, and that's going at the pace it's going at, and I don't even sometimes think of it, but it makes sense. They wouldn't want necessarily to worry their loved ones, right? Um, Maybe they're good at hiding it, maybe they're not, but they wouldn't want to worry or sadden their loved ones. So, yeah, I didn't realize that I had to make coffee. I thought there was still some in the pot. So just let me pour this in, and then I'll be available to chat. That was practically the perfect amount. Hopefully it's not going to be finicky. Sometimes it is lately. That's the other thing about it. So I'm going to have to come back and start that in a moment. I wish I knew what it looked like. Nobody's watching at the moment. It's going to get flashed a little on the top. I think I see somebody there now. Do I? Yep. I'm just trying to get the coffee maker to behave. It's old and finicky, but usually still works. At the moment, though, it's not. It's being annoying. So I'll try that in a few minutes. I'm gonna want this on. And I should put the thing in the chat so that the people know. Once I am past introducing it, and I'll be on screen while I do that, so that I'm on screen when people tune in. Okay. Whoops. Okay, never mind. I don't know what I just clicked there, but so I'm just putting the general title idea of this, and I'm doing something I've never done before. I've actually I made a bit of a cue list, playlist, a couple things that I certainly usually it's just about inspired by the things that I see simply just coming onto the homepage, but I put a couple on this and then roll this in the same tab. So got that there. Whoops. Okay, without any need to do anything additional, I accidentally clicked fan funding, so I don't know what that exactly means. And then this went to the middle of the thingamajig. Actually, do you want to make? Oh, did it take the whole thing out? Is it here too? I hope so. Good. Good. Okay, so I'm just gonna go try and start the coffee maker again because it was being wonky. One thing that I sometimes do if I'm really trying to focus and not getting suggestions, I really should do that. Is kind of on the laptop it's certainly easier, and on the cell phone I feel like it would show less at a time. but on the laptop it just kind of dragged the window down, so it's almost not showing. Favorite memory, that's too bad. Then you only see a little bit. Okay. Well, the dog sounds like he's doing something noisier than eating a chew stick that I just gave him, but I could be wrong. Just a moment. Yeah, you're being good. Okay, good. All right, let's see if we can get this moving and grooving. Yeah, that's usually what I have to do, is just either try like 3 or 4 times or walk away from it and then do it. Same with the computer sometimes, I tell you. So, yeah. And this doesn't have to just be, oh, that's the other thing I forgot to do. I'll do it in a minute. That doesn't have to just be, there was somebody there for a few seconds, obviously judged too quickly, or their phone died. But then I also want to put this for the people that or I want it as the title anyway, I think. I mean, I talk about that one thing often enough that might not stand out to G, and if it does, then maybe he'll feel like he's supposed to know it, and he should. So, I'm gonna go make myself some coffee in a moment, but just on this topic, yeah, so I want to look at it, and I want to look at what are the things that I feel like I could achieve off of this list, and also just talk about it, and and then also find out what's on other people's as well. Okay, so I'm going to start with the first one on mine. And if you just tuned in, you get an idea as to what this is about. In fact, I put it in the highlighted comments as well. So, smile, laugh, and sing. I think that we all will want our loved ones, chapstick if you're curious, chapstick if you're not. We will all want our loved ones anyway, but especially when we pass away, to be smiling, laughing, and singing in their life, to continue doing that. I said to channel me, donating some of my clothes to homeless organizations, or to the homeless directly, maybe. And another agency that's come to mean a lot to me lately. That part I'm not going to read out. It's not a bad thing, obviously, but I'm just not going to. But I am going to go see if my coffee's ready. No, I'm a little bit too quick, I think. So at this point, you can skip ahead. Yeah, obviously this will be longer than this, and if I'm talking again, I'm really going to just wait for those people here. I'm here for the conversation, and appreciate being heard as well as hearing others. So. I do like that sound though. 7:30 already? Maybe while I'm out here, I should get this other stuff ready to put in the oven. Probably kind of soon, but hello, Mohammed Abdul Gaffer. How are you? Welcome, everybody, and to the other person that came in as well. So you can see the highlighted comment that I put there. It's not long, but that's kind of the main topic. Now, it could be inaccurately saying that you both just left. Oh, no, yeah, see, someone's here. So the next one I had on the list was to write songs. Now, I was thinking about somebody who was particularly is musical that you've seen on this channel before. That isn't me. But I guess if it was reversed, and I've been in a bit of that headspace lately, that it, what if it was? I'd be suggesting these things to me as well. I sort of want to suggest that, I'll put that right there. A bit closer, whatever, but I sort of want to suggest that they do this as well. And you know what it's similar to, but not quite the same as? Writing a will. Well, you just got here, but okay, appreciate when you come back. What's up? How's it going? But there is an additional part that kind of connects to one of the previous things I just said that I wouldn't mind getting some input on. And just, talking about it all in general, really. So, I'll wait for that individual to say that they're back. Looks like they are, or somebody's here, so I'm going to keep moving and grooving. So, yeah, whether you're musical or not, it actually doesn't have to be a song. It can be a poetry. It can be journaling. And this was actually another medium. But I'm kind of curious to know if anybody has ever known anybody who is musical who's been along other medium, who sang on their episode. Because I saw one earlier today that I would like to hear more of her music. In fact, I feel like there was two. One for sure, though. Okay, so that's not got much longer in there. But I mean, like it's 7:30. So if I put it in and I put it in, at a low temperature, it would be ready by like 8:15. That's about normal. So let me just put this here for a moment. Sugar and spice and everything is good. Okay. So I'm going to put that in. It's kind of a regular temperature. Mine is so much easier today. In fact, mostly what I'm having is actually going to be heated up in the, it's just something to heat up. But I was kind of craving my new pizza brand. I'm making something for the other person in the house, who will probably prefer this, and I'm curious about this as well. And also, I don't know if I have to go this way. Oh, okay. So that I'll put in after a little bit. And there's so much. Well, it's a good thing I'm making that thing too. And then you got the usual time. Too early, but yet I do like so. Water is there. Okay. Back. Well, thanks for coming back. Everything going okay over there? You know, it's interesting that it says you're back, and I thought I saw it indicate that at the top, but it actually indicates nobody's watching, but sometimes that's just inaccurate. You say you're back, I believe you're back, and I'm happy to have you here. Where are you watching from in the world? I'm not going to guess by your name because people move around in their life a lot. And it could be multiple possibilities. Anyway, I'm trying to get a cookie out of this tray here. Perfect. That. Okay, that's in there. Where is... I'm gonna have to borrow Dave's gloves. Bro, I'm gonna follow you to see what you have to offer as videos. Okay, like subscribe, I appreciate that, and stick around and find out. Basically, this channel is about... How'd you come across it, by the way? Out of curiosity. Scrolling lives or from another video. This channel's about wellness. It's about supporting each other as best as we can. It's about... It looks like you left, but it may not have. It's about psychology, and I do music. And so does the other person that sometimes pops on the channel. So, in the home. I was looking for... I might just have to use the... So, hopefully you heard me just say that, because it's been flashing 1010 a couple times. I haven't been rolling more than 25 minutes. And I was just saying what the, you know, mostly what this channel is like. So, let's see here. Oh no, here it is. Got a second like, and I appreciate that. And so next on here, I put do things I wanted to but never got to do in life. I mean, asking people that are still living, you know, what that would be for them. Yes, it is actually. Asking people that are still living what that would be for them might be a little bit awkward. However, I could tell you what it would be for me that I don't feel is super likely that I would ever get to do in life. But first, yeah, you want one? Nice, long, peanut butter cookie. Now it's going to be a coffee as well. And sorry, our dog might be a bit noisy, but he gets so noisy when I put him out too. And it hasn't been that long since he's been out for a walk. That's too hot. You know, I was hoping to have this with my, I might just have to put a bit of additional water in it. I put milk in it, but normally I wouldn't put bottled water in it, but it's hard to cool it off a bit without getting up. So, for me, it might be playing big concerts, because the noise level and stuff of it, I in person likely couldn't. Also, the likelihood that I'm able to travel around easily, even locally, isn't very high. Start a business. I still have hopes I might do that and be able to. And feel free to say some of yours, but again, I feel like for a lot of other people, the question would be, what are just simply some of your goals or bucket list items, not things that you think you won't ever get to do in your life. But, maybe. Um, what else? Hmm. Hmm. Um, heal more people. In some ways, I do my best to do it, and I occasionally get to. I'd like to be doing it more. Um, and when I pass away, I mean, this isn't meant to be. It's meant to be thought provoking, not necessarily a morbid topic. But I think it's a morbid topic. It's actually brings life back to the, to those that passed away. Um, Thanks for the third like. This one says, "Have a party." Um, um, that it might be that people who didn't take time to get to know, um, or um, um, what say that again? Have a party. Um, um, I wrote this out earlier, and I'm trying to make sense of what I wrote now. Who didn't take like like the person I live with greatly and beautifully has. We simply lost those I've simply lost touch with, or live far from, or have already passed away. Um, which is quite a few of them. I'll be done my cooking in a moment. I keep hearing this phrase, "my people," um, including talking about angels. I heard somebody else say it once. Nice reading. Okay. Now, this is where I would say, with a list like this, how do you give it to someone if you really want to, so that they know, without them worrying? Like where I put it, it could easily get way far up, and possibly never noticed again otherwise. I mean, so that's another reason I'm putting it here. Um, so how do we show it to them without them worrying? Because we can say we're not planning to, die. What would they believe? Would loved ones believe? That's actually a thought. Give to them, say what you wrote to them for them. I'm sorry, the dog is being very distracting. He's going to have to go outside for a few minutes. He's just thinking of making noise and looking at the door, but he doesn't do that. There's lots of cars there, and he's noisy. Anyway, give to them, say what you wrote for them to do. Essentially, you're asking. I'm not too sure I'm understanding the question, but let's see here. And this one isn't just, another way to look at this, and I'm actually going to add it to the, I'm going to add it, or I'll just say it. You could also look at this as like a legacy, right? So, show your talents. That one, I look at it as show your talents that the ones left behind have, but also the ones, and I'm really not trying to, if anybody needs to talk about something, that's stressing them out to the point where they're thinking of doing something like this, doing something, to their life, like, we can try and be here, especially while there's only one person here listening at the moment, but we could, but otherwise, they get help. Now the dog's jumping at the door, but he really wasn't out that long. I tell you. Now, if you don't behave, I'll have to send you upstairs. So please just lay down and hush. Thank you. Sorry about all the interruptions. You sometimes I just put them upstairs. I mean, give it to someone to tell them what you wrote. Yeah. So, but then also as part of a legacy, especially if you're someone who's musical or whatever, is to um, have them like show your music. If I mean many you already know, but a dog that we have, yes, that's what I was mentioning. Um, I didn't include that, but cuddle or get a pet, I will include. Um, to be not shy, to be strong. If they're musical, to do gigs, and I did put in here help animals. Um, dogs and cats are, most domesticated. I'm not necessarily saying go out there and help a zebra or whatever. I mean, but if they see a zebra in need, I don't know. I'm sorry. Let's just gloss past that. Not saying I don't care about the zebra, but you, you're in your. No, I wrote this out. I just wrote this out on here. But I'm not too sure why hugely that matters either. Um, but and then find throughout life someone who really. Oh, first of all, also be connected. Because we all need that. I mean, we all need time to ourselves too, but also being connected. Find throughout life someone who really wants music lessons, and I'm thinking of a certain person I live with, um, um, who could do this, and teach them or give them some money towards an instrument or lessons or art class or theater class. Keep going to the festivals that we enjoyed going to together, um, which isn't really very often one that some may guess. We have three of you here. Um, and what I was watching that inspired this, like I said I was watching a video where somebody had said that they wanted their clothing donated to homeless people when they passed away. Um, he also said something very interesting. Also, well, maybe I should say what it was. Um, it was somebody that was a white light energy healer who was channeling someone who passed away. The other thing that he said is that his parents, his step parent and his parent, were going to meet other parents at a grief support group, and that he was friends with their souls on the other side. The kids that had passed away, or the may have been adults, but and that some of them were due to addiction. I haven't seen a lot of this person, but her name was Allison Dubois. But yeah, um, and it yeah, makes sense. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think it can happen, and you know, I don't know people's belief in the afterlife, but it actually seems like Muhammad, you might believe, and somebody else is here, and if you don't, well, let me help because da da da. I channel the souls of my loved ones from time to time when I'm able to, and when they feel there's a need to, or sometimes it's just a sign and a symbol. I do help others out occasionally, but it's mostly for myself. And I'm actually sensing my friend Ray saying that I attended such a group a little while ago, last year, um, and that yeah, she actually knew a couple of those people too, and she was trying to nudge. I mean, they said, the person said, the leader said, if anybody would like to connect with anybody outside of the group, you have, we're getting, there was a series of 4 workshops, and then there was a couple of, like, individual ones. She says, we're getting to, the point where people should consider if they'd like to do that, because after the workshop's done, they can't facilitate that connection. I think it's a little bit stupid. I mean, yeah, maybe they're busy enough, but they should say that they could at least ask if the person is open to connection and then pass along the information if so. But it was cool that she suggested that people do it, though. Although I've got to admit, one's never responded to text, one, the email didn't go through, and the other one I am connected with, but she's pretty busy. She has a side job, she has a main job, she has her kids, um, and I'm not too sure what else. But anywho, but basically, but yeah, so, Ray is kind of saying that, you know, as she had made those friends, she was trying to nudge me, you know, making some connections as well. And she says, I'm sorry that it feels like it's been a little bit of a slow process. Um, and that you almost feel like you need to go again. Because as I sometimes say on this channel, you know, um, I think that most of us will go through it, but some of us maybe not often. Um, Very thankful for the gift. Very thankful for the YouTube community and others that I talk with online. I'm not on a lot of platforms, but and um, I do live with somebody. Uh, but this is a quieter chapter of my life where I don't have a lot of connections. Okay, well, I'll tell you this much. I'm only going to be rolling for probably another half hour, just so you know. And we have two other people here, and one person just liked, so I appreciate it. Um, but yeah, so so now there's four of you, but I don't know whether they're going to be chatty people or not. But yeah, it is still something that I'm looking for ways to do that. I'm looking for ways to connect. I'm used to my own company, so in some ways I don't mind it, but I would like to expand that a little bit. I mean, at times in my life I've had it that way, so I know it's possible. Although some of those times I've been working or in school, it seems like I'm meant to be focusing on other goals and being self-employed right now, and not doing either of the other two, or else I'd be finding success doing them. Um, and as people can imagine, if they are students, uh, employed, or both, that's where you see a lot of the people that you see most regularly, right? So when you don't have that, you know, and like people from my past, like any of us, occasionally there will be fallouts. Occasionally people will drift and you won't know how to reconnect to them. And you can just hope you might run into them online or in person, you know, at some point. People pass away as well. So, yeah, it's yeah, that's where I'm at. So I really appreciate having YouTube um, to come and visit with folks and to form connections, for sure. Um, and some come back, and have been many times, and that's always nice too. So that was all that was on my list. I thought there was a little bit more, and again, I put the question out there to you: what would be on yours? But if I was to look back at this again, uh, if I was to look back at this again, not saying that loved ones can't do it when I pass, but could I be doing it? And let's see here. Chapstick if you're curious, chapstick if you're not. As far as clothing, I figure that I have clothing that are special articles of clothing that I wouldn't want to get rid of, or the stuff that I wear, um, or the stuff that might not be in good enough condition. Some people may think if somebody really needs clothing, they won't care, but places that you would donate to often kind of sort through it, and they'll just get, so might as well just keep it if it's just going to be gotten rid of. Sure, if somebody is homeless and they feel the need to dumpster dive, they might do that, and maybe they'd find it, just like, scraps of food or whatever. But I don't know. I did donate to that one agency, I wouldn't easily be able to get to the other one, and I am still living and kind of like I say stuff I want to keep. Um, write music, I could be doing that more because, like I say, another way to look at this is one's legacy, and so doing these, including when I do music, is part of that, right? Again, and I'm not seeing anybody other than Muhammad commenting, but hopefully, if you're commenting, that I'll see them. But again, I asked the question of you too. What would be? You can see the highlighted comment. It's pretty short. You can also get a sense as to what we're talking about here. What would be on your list? Um, with this one about doing the things I always wanted to but may not get to in life, that one is a possibility to still be able to do, but I'd have to rephrase it to what are the things I've never really thought about doing that I might like to do. And I've been trying to figure that out lately. I mean, maybe not as strongly or as much as I could, but I've been trying to look at that and what would that be. As I mentioned in one of my other recent videos, I can't remember exactly how it came up, but it seems like the things that I am most meant to do, they keep popping up, even if I'm not getting to do them in the capacities that I would like to. They've always stuck around, and it's like my default is to just say those things. Um, you know, um, um, although I would like to learn different dance styles. And I recently had someone pass away in my life who had taught me an instrument I no longer play. I don't know if I can afford to get it again. I know that I'm trying to remember if I moved to where I live now, moved to the city I live in now, which we won't say, but in Canada. Um, if I moved with the instrument that I when I had it, no, I didn't because I got rid of it when I um, graduated high school, and then not long after that moved, and then um, I got it again, thinking I might, I was fairly decent at it. I might like to play it again, and I couldn't get a decent sound out of it. It's a brass instrument. I think it's a brass, not a woodwind, and I was in a distance relationship at the time, and I wanted to get her local, and so I eventually took it to a local music shop and said, I'd like to sell this. What I should have maybe said, he wasn't the most organized individual. What I should have maybe said, though, is I'd like to sell this. I really need the money for something. I don't remember doing that. And it sat in the back room for a long time, and then they were like, and then I went in once, and the one guy who I was kind of familiar with that worked there went back and looked and says, like, yeah, I see it. It's been here for a while. I think we didn't know where it came from. Or I don't know if he thought that maybe it was a rental that somebody, they didn't have a lot of that instrument in the store, a rental that somebody was waiting to pick up or get repaired, or I don't know. It's just nothing happened with it. Like they should have put something on it or priced it right then and put it in the storefront. They should have put something on it when I dropped it off, and it just was the case, and it went to the back room. So, would I like to play that instrument again? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Like I said, the last time I tried, I had iffy. I couldn't really get a good sound out of it. Um, is there another instrument I'd like to learn? I mean, you get some donate something. Speaking of that, I mean, uh, I don't know if we could afford it, and I don't know. Is there an instrument that you would like to learn, whether you play other instruments or not? And again, what would be on your will, or what would you want your legacy to be? What would you put on your list, like that you would hope that a loved one would see, and would you physically give it to them before you might pass away, whether you think you're going to or not pass away? I mean, eventually you will. What would be on your list as to like these are the things that I would like to see happen, even though I passed away. Um, I'm gonna have to think about that because there's a possibility I might want to learn another instrument. I mean, I know there's the presets in that keyboard, and I play two others and sing. Uh, there's a possibility. I've tried drums when I was a kid, um, and then in my mid 20s, I got behind a kit again that my former bandmate actually owned. He wasn't a drummer, or I didn't actually. It's weird. I don't know why he had drums because I don't didn't know he played them. He was very musically inclined. They may have been his brothers. They both lived at home still. Like say, I was in my early 20s and maybe mid 20s. He was in his early 20s, and then his brother was a little bit younger. Um, anyway, I sat behind them and actually seemed to feel like I knew what I was doing. And it had been years and years. I thought that possibly it's because my coordination, just as I've gotten older, as I've gotten more familiar with playing the other instruments, maybe just got better. Um, Party? Yeah, I'm ready. Woo! There, partied. um, Always happy to hear G doing music. Always happy to be doing music as well. Like to occasionally notice his art. You know, um, his way with words. I mean, I don't know if that's a talent or not, but um, continue to keep being strong to help animals. Again, it's an accessibility thing. A lot of the places I would go to, I don't think would necessarily be accessible. I heard, are easy to get to for me as a non-driver. I heard that there was a fundraiser coming up that they were doing a pierogi sale, and they wanted people to get up at 7:30 in the morning and be there helping make pierogies till about 10 or 11. And I thought, again, it's a humongous world. So if this sounds familiar to someone, I probably went out in your city. But I thought, you know, I know a lot of people are used to getting up early, but I really don't think people should have the rushed mornings that most people have. I think they should come into the day gradually and spend some time with their family if they get along with them that they live with, you know, and just sit and enjoy a cup of coffee. And I'm thankful I used to get to do that actually. But yeah, what was I saying before that? I don't remember. Oh, right. So no, it's just I thought that no wonder they're still looking for people. Um, I would love to say that I could teach music lessons, but um, the internet and people doing just deciding to do it virtually has kind of made that difficult for a lot of people, unless they or their parents, if they're kids, uh, would rather that they learn from someone in person for whatever reason, and would rather pay for it than. I mean, unfortunately, some people are going to say, "Well, then we hope that they would be qualified, and not just someone on the internet." I don't think anyone would offer to teach music if they didn't know how to play it. I mean, that doesn't make sense to me. And they probably have been musical all their life. That counts for something. Life experience also counts for something. Um, so the only thing that really jumped out of that list so far, and I mean, I don't know, maybe you guys can suggest ideas as to maybe how to come up with more stuff. I came up with that stuff pretty quickly. Now I feel like I need like prompts or whatever. Um, but the only thing that kind of jumped out there was learn an instrument. Hmm. Hmm. I've always wanted to learn the silver flute. I have to look at why it would need so many of those. I don't really know what instrument I'd learn. I do know that we just got a fifth like, and I appreciate that. And we got a third viewer. And that's got more splashes on the bottom of that. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. Didn't think that would be a tricky question, but you know one I wouldn't mind learning? But I think I know. I think it would be just as hard as the trumpet, and I don't really think that I would actually do it. Would be like a oboe or like cello might be one. I know he's been wanting to get a cello, but honestly, we really can't afford it. And washboard. Lisa's just joking. And yeah, George here earlier too. But you must still be. I have to run upstairs for just a moment. I'm curious who gave the fifth like, and I think the other like came from Mom. And okay, now it says nobody's here, but that may be inaccurate. Yeah, I pretty much talked about what I want to talk about. Actually, it's true. I did tell myself, although, and I might actually roll with some music after this, because there was a couple ways, couple playlists on people's channel, and one of them I still know how to get back to. I have it open. I'd actually told myself I might roll later with some music, but I think I'm going to take a brief break because brief rest, well, right before dinner from streaming because G's not around, or if he is home, he's often doing other stuff and isn't often around as I'm doing them. But Liga was quite nice and was, but so I want to watch it back with him, and so I want to give myself a bit of break from hearing me because I'm listening to me shortly, and then I'll come back and maybe focus mostly on music. It's unfortunate, although actually I do have a little bit of distraction tomorrow, but I probably still would have had time during the day, but still don't have a cell phone. So if I don't do it tonight, it'll be tomorrow night. So at least there's that. Okay, everybody, take care. Bye bye. Yeah, didn't really see any of the regulars, but it was a nice chat with a newbie. So newbie to the channel. Remember to subscribe, like, comment, talk to you.